What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Chat with Corey, episode 4, first of 2026. It's been a while. Holiday season, family in town from out of state got me a little busy and carried away. The grandson was here, the son, the daughter-in-law from Georgia, then my other son and his girlfriend were here. So a lot of good time spent with family over the holidays. I hope all of you had a very good holiday. And as we'll get to in a minute, me and a couple buddies, we're gonna give ourselves our own present here on Friday night. So without any more just ramble from me, we're gonna jump right into it. College football playoff. That's right, the college football playoff. We're down to Miami versus Ole Miss on Thursday night, January 8th. And then Indiana versus Oregon on January 9th, the Peach Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia. This guy and a couple buddies will be in the building. Now, it's yet to be seen how high in the building we are, but we will be in the building as we will leave tomorrow after school and drive to Atlanta, Georgia for Friday night's Peach Bowl between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Oregon Ducks. How cool are these four teams? How cool are these stories? Oregon just worked their way up for the last 20 years, building a program. Coaches come, coaches go. They have Phil Knight, helping out with the Nike uniforms and the different styles of uniforms, and they have some really cool uniforms. So, they've built themselves into a college football national championship contender the last few years, and so they'll be lining it up against the Indiana Hoosiers on the Friday night. The Hoosiers, the losingest football program in the history of college football until this year. That's right. Until this year, they had lost more than any other college football program. Yes, they had a great year last year under Coach Curt Cinetti, and then they do it again this year with Heisman Trophy winner quarterback Fernando Mendoza. He'll be spinning that thing. So, hopefully, as you can tell with this hat and by this picture, where am I pointing? Right there, of Coach Knight, I am an Indiana Hoosier fan. Yes, I am a Notre Dame football fan as well, but I have been an Indiana Hoosier football fan since the days of Anthony Thompson and Von Dunbar and Antoine Randall L. We've had many coaches. Coach Bill Mallory had some success. We had Coach Lee Corso back in the day, Coach John Pont, John Eisenbarger out of Muncie, Indiana, here locally. Exciting times for Indiana University football. And if they can pull this off and make themselves a national champion, it's just a tremendous story. As they asked Coach Cignetti about it after the Rose Bowl, you think they could make a movie about it. Oregon, same way. If they can pull it off, just how cool will that be? Nobody's been a national champion between these two teams, and they're just going to put their best foot forward, see what happens on Friday night at the Peach Bowl. I'll be rocking and rolling in Atlanta, Georgia for this guy. I'm excited, if you can't tell, to be in attendance for that one. Not so excited about the drive because we are driving and not flying, but we'll make that happen anyways. And then you have poor old Miami. That's right, the U, as they say, the Miami Hurricanes. Well, guess what? Everybody said, how did they get in over Notre Dame? How are they in the playoffs? And I was one of those people. But guess what? It's amazing what happens when you have something to prove and you have a little extra motivation And I'm telling you what, that Miami Hurricane defense is something else, people. That is something else. So, what a great story. They have won national championships. I think they have 5. You could correct me in the comments down below when you like and subscribe if I'm wrong. I didn't do my homework on that one, but I think they've won 5 if I remember correctly. And they will be taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. The University of Mississippi. That's right, the Ole Miss Rebels. And they have a national championship to their name, but it was in like 1960, maybe 1960. So all these stories are special, but Ole Miss's story is quite interesting. You got a coach that thinks he's too cool for you. He's going to bolt town. He's going to go to LSU, one of your biggest and most bitter rivals. He's going to take some of the coaches with you. People are worried about him taking players, but nobody's really entered the transfer portal yet. I think these players are committed to their team, unlike the guy who left in the middle of the season, although I'm not 100% sure that it's his fault. I think it's college football's rules and calendar fault. But, man, they have something to prove as well. Indiana University needs to prove that they are for real. Oregon needs to prove that they have come a long way from where they have developed their program over the last 20 or 25 years. Miami needs to prove that they deserve to be in there. And Ole Miss needs to prove that they can win despite their former coach who leaves in the middle of the year. With that being said, who am I going with? Obviously, I'm going to go with the Indiana Hoosiers because I am a homer here in the great state of Indiana. And I think I'm going to go with the Ole Miss Rebels. I just like their story. I just like the fact they have something to prove. As a former coach myself, as a former athlete myself, I just think sometimes when you've got a chip on your shoulder and you're trying to prove somebody wrong, I think there's something to be said about that. And I think it's going to be real special. I think it's going to be real special for any of these 4 teams to win the national championship in college football and say, hey, we had something to prove. We had something to prove. All right. Also, let's get into this with college football. Coach Dan Lanning made a very good point, and it's something that I touched base on before, but I'm going to touch base real quick here. Coach Lanning said the college football season could start 1 week earlier. They could play every weekend in December, have their national championship, on January 1, and then they could open that transfer portal. Kids could be enrolled for second semester because most schools aren't starting for another 2 weeks. And then away you go. And you could do the transfer portal. I don't know why the NCAA or the people who are in charge of these decisions don't think like coaches, but coaches sometimes they have thought about it because they're asked the question a lot and they want to have a good answer. So I like his answer. I think a 16-team playoff is what it needs, and here's why. Yes, I'm a Notre Dame homer, yes, because I'm in Indiana once again. But here's why it needs to be 16 teams. It needs to be 16 teams because if it's 16 teams, the teams that had to bye that lost other than Indiana wouldn't have lost. Indiana's the only one that's not lost who's had to bye in the college football playoff the last 2 years. So, 16-team playoff, nobody has a bye. Everybody plays each week. We're done January 1. Transfer portal can open, and away they go. Am I a fan of the transfer portal? I don't know. But you know what? That's the rules. That's the world we live in. So you just got to let it happen and get out there and see. We got to change it. We've got to change it. The way they're doing it just doesn't make any sense. You got guys opting out of playoffs games. What in the world? I just don't understand. So we gotta take care of that. All right. We're moving along. We're moving pretty quick. As I said, I've got big plans this week, so I got to get off here and get packing so we can get out of Dodge, so to speak, tomorrow night. My Indiana Hoosiers basketball, hey, they improved to 3-1 in the Big Ten, beating Maryland 84-66 tonight. led by Lamar Wilkerson. He had 24. Connor Enright had 16. Tayton Connerway had 19. And Reed Bailey had 15. I do continue to worry about the inside presence of the Hoosiers. I am a little worried that they're not quite strong enough inside, but to go on the road, win a Big Ten game on the road, they improved to 12-3, and they out-rebound Maryland 41-33. Buzz Williams' team's always pretty physical, always pretty aggressive, so to out-rebound them 41-33, I hope we can start rebounding with teams that are more physical, a little bit bigger, because the Hoosiers are playing better, and we want the Hoosiers in March Madness. So we've got a long way to go, got a lot of work to do, got to figure some things out on the interior defensively, got to figure things out interior offensively, and we just got to continue to get better. I think Coach has done a great job. Coach DeVries has done a great job as the season has gone on of just improving his team. I don't know if he's going to be a coach of the year, because I don't know that they're going to have that record, but they have gotten better. I do like the way they play. I do like their style. I enjoy to watch them, and I've missed that the last few years with the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, couple here local high school topics. We haven't really gotten into too many local high school topics, and I want to touch base on a couple here, and then we'll probably get off here for this week and jump back on here hopefully next week and have some more things, exciting sports news to talk about. Madison County Tournament is no longer. It would have been this week. As we sit here today, it's January 7th. The first week of January has historically for the last 22 years been, or 23 years, I guess, 2003 to 2025 has been the week for the Boys and Girls Madison County Tournament. And they had some teams last year say, you know what, we're not interested in the Madison County Tournament. We're playing these teams 3 times a season. We'd like to get out there and play a few more people. We have some kids that maybe need some exposure for college opportunities. We have some kids that maybe just don't get out of our local area a little bit. We'd like to play some teams outside the area, go travel a little bit over the holiday season, and we just don't want to play a team 3 times in the season. Once in the regular season, once in the county tournament, and then once in the state tournament, the sectional level here in Indiana, which I understand that. It's one of the points that I made when I used to coach in this tournament. It was a long week. It was too long. 3-game guarantee. Yeah, some county tournaments do that, but if you look at most of the county tournaments in the state of Indiana, it is a one and done. If you lose, you're out. And somebody said, well, the reason they set up this is when we went to class basketball, they wanted to bring back some of those Madison County rivalries. They wanted to play in the Anderson Wigwam. If you haven't looked it up, the Anderson Wigwam is a historic gymnasium that is no longer in use here in the city of Anderson, Indiana. So they're not even playing there anymore. And they just wanted to make sure they didn't lose opportunity to play games. I think sometimes we get caught up in playing games, and we don't get caught up in what's the right reasons. So 3-game guarantee, I was never a fan of it. We were in the tournament several years coaching. I just never was a fan of it. Now, I grew up playing in the Delaware County Tournament. It's single elimination. You lose, you're out. You lose, you're out. Now, we did try a consolation bracket a couple years, and that just kind of fizzled out. It was a lot to add to the week. One of the reasons I did not like the Madison County Tournament, coaching in the Madison County Tournament, is the first week back to school after 2-week Christmas break. Everybody's tired. Coaches are tired. Players are tired. Parents are tired. And those poor ADs, if they're a true AD and they're going to do it the right way, they would attend 3 boys games that week and 3 girls games that week. That's 6 nights of basketball, and that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of anybody. So some people thought that maybe they were done playing in the county tournament. They asked to be out. They said we could, they made the suggestion to maybe keep the individual county tournaments. Some of the other ADs disagreed, and there is no more Madison County Tournament anything. Yes, it's sad. Yes, I would have thought that they would have tried a compromise of some sort, maybe single elimination, maybe 2-game guarantee, and if you lost your first game, you were only going to play 2 games. If you won your first game, you would get 3 games for the week. And they just did not compromise at all. Madison County tournament no longer exists. And here's some points I have for you. In the 23 years that they played the Madison County tournament, Anderson High School has won 10 of the county championships. They are the largest high school in the county. Then Pendleton Heights has won 6 of the Madison County, on the boys' side. This is the boys' side, Madison County Boys Basketball Championships. And they're the second largest high school in Madison County. Now that Anderson Highland no longer exists, as it was closed due to consolidation. When Anderson Highland was open, Anderson Highland won 3 county championships. Get where I'm going here. So there's 19 of the 23 county championships won were by the 3 largest schools who have participated. LaPel won 1, Frankton won 1, Liberty Christian won 1, and Alexandria won 1. So if you're not the power, you're not having a real good shot of winning the county championship. And if I'm going to have to play 3 games against these teams, I just think it makes for a long week, especially if you're one of the lower teams in the county, and especially if you are only doing it for money. Some people were doing it because of the gate, that money they were making, but some of the bigger schools, some of the public schools are saying that maybe they make a little bit more money if they got a true gate for 3 games in a week instead of a share of a gate for the whole county tournament. Pendleton Heights has won 79% of its games in the Madison County tournament. Anderson High School has won 73% of its games in the Madison County tournament. Anderson Highland has won 65% of its games in the county tournament. LaPel has won 57%. Frankton has won 52%. Liberty Christian 38%. Alexandria Monroe High School 37%. Elwood Community Schools 25%. And Anderson Preparatory Academy 10%. It's just a lot. It's a long week. I think I may have enjoyed it more if it was single elimination, puts a little more on the game, and sometimes you just get a little bit extra out of your kids. We had a lot of good games. We were close in a lot of games, had several overtime games, in the county tournament. We got a couple of them. It was fun to get a couple big wins in the county tournament, but man, it is hard when you have that long week after a long layoff. So, yeah, it's sad. Madison County tournament is gone for high school athletics here in Anderson, Indiana. But this guy here is just, it was only around since 2003. I mean, I think the oldest standing county tournament that I'm aware of, I think, is the Shelby County tournament. There's Shelby County tournament, Henry County tournament, Delaware County tournament, Marion County tournament. There's a lot of good county tournaments. Those ones I just mentioned, they're single elimination. Now, then you have the Grant County tournament, the Grant 4. Well, it's 2-game guarantee, but there's only 4 teams. So you play 2 games in the morning, you play 2 games at night, and it's over. It's done all one day, just like the old sectional or the old regional and the old semi-state used to be back in the day in single class. So, yeah, it's sad. I hate to see it for the Madison County people, but those things happen. You just got to move on and go from there and find new rivalries and new tournaments and new traditions. It's happening every day with all the conference shuffle at college level. It's trickling down to the high school level. The conference shuffle is on. I don't get the big hullabaloo about being in this conference versus that conference. And you know what? Just give me a schedule and let's play some games and win some games. That's how this coach thinks. You don't have to agree with it. If you don't agree with it, that's cool, because this is my opinion. This is Chat with Corey, and Corey is just telling you what Corey thinks. So, one last thing I'd like to touch base on here before I get off here for tonight. The Delville Lady Bronco basketball team is doing extremely well. Extremely well. They have won 13 games in a row. Unfortunately, they lost a tough one last night. I think they are on pace to get the school record. The school record for the Lady Broncos is currently 15 wins. And like I said, I think they're at 13 or 14 wins right now. And they've only had 3 winning seasons that I know of. They've already secured their 4th. Looking for their first back-to-back winning seasons in Delville Lady Bronco basketball history. So that's exciting. My friend Joe Wrench, the head coach, they've got some real nice young ladies on that team doing a nice job. Addie Gothard does a nice job. She's a real nice player. Olivia Pratcher, she does a nice job, and some of the other girls. So if you've not seen the Lady Broncos, get out there and support those Lady Broncos. They're fun to watch. They're exciting to watch. They're winning games, play hard. Coach is getting a lot out of them, and they deserve your support. So get out there and check out the Lady Broncos basketball team. Root them on to a couple big victories. The last thing I'd like to say, as I am an alumni of the Delville High School, Delville Junior Senior High School, and this Saturday night, the Delville High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductions for this year will take place. There'll be a ceremony, I think, at 4:30. I believe that's in their auxiliary gym. Those people being inducted will be in that ceremony. And then between the JV and varsity boys basketball game that night, they will be introducing those being inducted and just give them their plaque. One thing that I always wanted to do growing up was I just wanted to be a Delville Bronco, just like my dad, just like my sister, just like my mother, who was on the first GAA girls volleyball team at Delville High School. So get out there, support your local athletics. That's where I'm going to be this week. We're going to check out the Delville High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction Saturday night. We're going to watch the boys of the Broncos play, but get out there and watch the Lady Broncos play, and just go to your local high school, watch some games. It's fun. It's cheap entertainment. Yes, concession prices have gone up. Yes, admission's gone up, but it's a lot cheaper than some of the other things you could be doing. Trust me. So get out there, support your local high schools. Get out there, support your small college, support your big college. Hey, this guy's supporting the Indiana Hoosiers Friday night in Atlanta, Georgia. Looking forward to it. Then we'll be driving through the night to return to Indiana, so me and a couple of the buddies there can go to that Hall of Fame induction night. Finally, thanks for tuning in. I'm not sure that this is my best episode. I feel like I rushed it a little bit because I got a lot to do. But remember this, everyone: find something you enjoy to do. Get out there and do it. We'll see you.